bricks and blocks, I believe.
I still
I
have.
don't tell him where he got
Put one in
it.
that hole and then put one in one of these little holes.
Yeah.
And it would hold it straight, yeah. A little nail, yeah, you're
A
right.
little finishing nail, you
You
wouldn't
would
see
never
it.
notice it. I still, every time I think about a saw blade, I think about that place up there. I should've checked that shit, I don't know why in the
You
hell.
should, you
I ain't
should.
got sense enough.
It was showing you, it was letting you know.
It was
Yeah, because the way it, all the shit that went on that day, my mind was about blowed anyhow.
Well, we were gonna take
When
a
that
trip
shit said,
one day when Donna was able to.
leave,
Oh.
oh God, man.
Oh, that's the area that you're talking
I
about.
told Don, I told everybody, if I'd have been by myself, I'd have probably left.
But James said no, huh?
Well, no, I think he was ready to go more than I was. Cause when he stopped to turn around, I just really couldn't believe it.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all
I didn't
something.
think he
First
heard
time
what
I
I
ever
heard.
went inside that house, I felt the awful feeling that I have ever felt in my life. I told Daddy, I said, and I told Edward, and I told
There's
Daddy.
bad news
I
there,
said,
something bad.
Y'all better get out of here.
Something bad
Daddy
happened
said,
there.
what's wrong? And your granddad looked at me and he said, I think I'll go out here. He said, I think we need to go back outside. I'd done outside waiting out the fence. The hell with that.
Well-
It didn't want nothing said, it was just the way
Way it
that it
felt.
felt.
Yeah,
I
I
said,
know that
oh
shit
no, I said, y'all.
But we was way down
But
in the
it was
woods.
so funny the way Daddy, your Uncle Edward talked about that damn rod hitting that old.
Oh, yeah, the way he hit
old
Lane.
upside the head.
Yeah.
He said he thought I done it. He said I was sitting over here. He said Ollie was sitting off out
Away
on the
from
walking
them.
stick. And Ollie said he said that thing started doing it. Luckily it started doing it. And he said just about
Popped him right in the head.
It popped him right upside the damn
He
head.
thought, he looked up and thought,
Thought it Daddy done it.
why the hell did you do that? Nah, I ain't done
Daddy
that.
said I didn't do that. He
I didn't do it.
Daddy said
I remember Dad talking about, he said it went to go moving.
Ollie
He
said
said, cause he stuck it in the dirt over
he
there.
stuck it in the dirt.
And he was down there digging.
Digging.
And he said that thing started wiggling around. He said Edward was right not too far, but he said, I
Standing right there
and
side
he
of it.
said that song good way. He said, old Lane bent over to get another scoop. He said, popped him right in the head. Like it knocked him out.
Daddy said that, I don't know where it was that same night or where it was the night after that. I think it was the same night. He said I was sitting on, you know how you fly down and sit on the walking stick. Well, Edward, he done got out of the way. He said, no, you ain't gonna accuse me of that. Because I didn't do it. He said, I'm sitting there watching Daddy laugh. Now, Daddy walked off kindly off away from Edward did and laughed. He said, that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. And Daddy, directly, all he said, I sat there and he said, oh, he was
Let me have some of your
standing
stuff.
there
Give me.
and he said, I'm gonna tell you something. He said, they was the biggest thing,
Okay, Mama.
that was the biggest thing about this big. He said,
Oh,
that
yeah,
thing
that's the
had a
same
head.
place.
Same place,
Daddy seen that dog thing.
that big old dog.
He said it looked like a lion. He said it had a head
And it went right toward, Lane,
right up behind him. He
right up
said.
behind him and then disappeared.
But he said, Daddy said he sat there and watched it. I don't doubt nothing you may. We're gonna have glitter all. Where'd the glitter come from?
Often something I was working on.
You already got a
Yeah,
piece
it's
somewhere.
all
I seen
over
it.
the table.
Yeah, it's all over my table, but
I've
I'm
seen
gonna put
it
it on
right
the
here.
table.
I seen it on her face. That's then I thought we'll all have it on. But
I've been talking about I'll roll in it.
yeah, if y'all mess with it, you can't help it. You'll have it. You'll have it on him for
Remember that
days because you'll take a bath and it'll still be there. But no, man. When that thing told us, we was way down in the woods, but it told me, or I heard it, mean sounded too. It said to leave. That's all it said.
Well, it never did say
And
that to me.
I stopped and I'm looking at the back of James and he stopped. And I thought, in my mind I'm thinking he did. But he stopped all of a sudden. But the way he turned around, he had such a stupid look on his face. And I'm thinking, maybe he did.
Did you?
And he looked at me. He said, did you? That's what he said. Did you? And I said, yeah. And I'm still thinking. And then he couldn't believe that I heard it. I could tell it in his face. I was looking right at his face. I was looking at his back. But when he turned around, he said, did you? I said, yeah.
Mama, that was good.
And he said, he couldn't believe it. He said, leave. I said, yeah. Sure did. He come walking back toward me and I sort of walked toward him, but we was standing there. We started looking around like, what the hell? He said, well, what do you want to do, Bunny? I think he was ready to go. And I'm telling you, I would have left. If I heard what I heard,
And you've
I
been
probably
there.
would have left. It bothered me, but him being there, I said, well, I ain't done nothing wrong now. I said, I ain't planning on doing nothing wrong. I said, I'm just curious what's
I'm just
around here."
looking.
I said, if you ain't want, if you'll stay, I'll stay. So we did. But I'll be done. We got on up there, and that was like I said, it was way out in the woods back there behind the house. But we got on up there to that house and messing around.
Ow, is
And
that?
he was inside, and I started up them back steps. I did. I went in the back steps. I don't remember how he went in, but I went up and walked in there on that creaky ass back porch,
Yeah.
and I walked on in there with him. And I got tired of looking around because hell, everybody done been in there. I said, well, you know, you ain't gonna find nothing in the house anyhow. I come on back down barely without falling, tripping and falling off that the back porch was bad.
Yeah, it
And I
was.
got on down there and I looked around and I, you know,
Let me get some of those.
You leaving?
I love you.
I got to go help Aunt Paula make candy.
You wanna go smoke a cigarette real quick?
Nah, you gotta go, Jennifer. But I started to go back in because he was still poking around in the house.
Call
thought-
me if you need me.
Call me when you get there.
I'll call you and let you know. I'll call your mama's phone.
Yeah, do that. But when I started to go back in there, like I
You
said,
take
that
all
was the
that
first
with
thing
you?
down in the woods. And that unnerved me. But when I stepped my foot up there to go back in there, I stepped one foot up on that back step. And I heard somebody else say something about it. It felt like the world, it felt like it was bad. It was terrible. I mean, it felt like I'd lost my bestest friend or, I mean, it was just so sad feeling, such a weird, strong. I took my foot back off and it was gone.
Mm.
And that was the second thing that freaked my ass out. So then I decided I ain't going back up in there like that. I just stood around a little bit and I got the nose and I heard something over there.
So we're in the dust.
And something was kicking around and kicking the dust up. I thought it might have been birds or something. Over in where that, like a little stall area, had a top on it. And I walked on over there. By then this dust had settled down. But I walked on in there and I could tell, I had tennis shoes on. And when I stepped in there, I could tell I was on something different. It was powdery dry in there, sandy or whatever the hell, you know, it's sand. I could tell the difference, but I backed back off and I could tell. I started scratching around there, and I found the edge of that blade. Cause when I stepped off it, I said, okay, I'm
It's a
off
big
of it.
blade.
I could tell it was an old sawmill blade,
Yeah, that's what it was.
and it was probably, it filled up his floor.
Well,
It
yeah,
filled up
hell
his
yeah.
floor. It was a big one. I mean, a big old. And I never thought once about it.
To
But
move
could have
it?
been under that damn blade.
It-
Something could have
well,
been. That'd have been a perfect
Was it
spot.
you that said you heard the horses out
That's where when I took my foot back off that porch and got over the freaked out, that freaked me out, how that made me feel. And I was just standing around lying, you know, in my mind, I said, I ain't going back in there that way. and then I got to nose and I heard something, and like I said, over to my left there was where that stall area was, it looked like where you keep a horse. Because it had a little room and then an open area, but it was all, anyway, was kicking up that dust over there. But that's what when I went in there and found that, how I found it, but I could feel it. But when I backed back up, and I said, okay, I'm off of it. I wonder what the hell that is. And I just kicked the dust around and realized it's that damn big ass saw blade. Like I said, it'd be a big one. It was a big old.
You wouldn't have to worry about it fucking bending and shit.
Oh, it was
if there was
it
something
was
dug
sort of
out.
like it was big for a sawmill. It would have been a big blade, buddy. You could have cut a big log.
Yeah.
That's probably what.
Okay, because I'm saying, if you laid it down on this floor, I'm telling
You could have cut the whole fucking tree from the bottom to the.
Well, it would have been in a mill, and it'd have been standing there like this, and you run the saw through it, just half the blade. But half that blade would, you could be cutting a big log, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, because I'm telling you, I'm guessing it might not fit in here with all this stuff against these walls. It was big. It was a big old thing. But way bigger than this table. About 3 or 4 times the size of this table. But I never once thought that would be a good place to put something there.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a great place to put something under it if you wanted to bury it.
Hiding it, yeah.
Yep, if you wanted to bury something.
You should
I
have.
never did think about it until years later.
Which by then, was it gone?
You know, we don't know.
By then, the house burnt and all that shit
Ain't
went
no
on.
telling
And
what.
that old man and woman come up there talking their shit about it. And then the cop come up there telling me all the shit. Told me the same thing. I don't remember. Yeah, the cop come second because the first person was that old man and woman and they had a chauffeur. Somebody was driving them. And we was just standing around. I wasn't gonna run because the whole house was done burned down. I thought, well, I can't. And I told them that. I said, well, I hate that it burned. I said, I always loved the old house. I thought it was so pretty.
It was a pretty old
It was a
house.
pretty old house.
It was built, I liked the way it was
And
built.
and they told me all about it.
Somebody
told me
got
who
killed
built it.
there.
Who built it? Who all lived there?
Some of their family.
I think it had to have been. And told me the whole story of the house. And I remember the old man and woman. They said, well, you can't hurt nothing now. I said, okay, well. They went on. And a few minutes later, here come a cop. Oh, hell, here we go. I told him, I said, well, I just talked to the one that said they owned it. I said, we're up here just looking. I said, I couldn't believe it burnt. But he told me the same darn thing that the lady and man just told me.
They were all glad it was burnt.
I don't know. Now that's what I got off the old man and woman. That it was like a relief. It's all
It
over.
was.
with.
It's
I mean,
gone.
that's
It's
the way
done.
they acted.
Yeah.
That's just the way they acted about it. And anyway, there was some strange shit that went on up there. And that was two of the things. And another thing, every time I'd go up there, and I remember going up there with Uncle Edward,
I know.
and we had to hide from that truck.
Yep.
There was a pickup truck that
Yes, it
would
was.
always come by there, okay, and stop like he just knew we were there.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd all be hiding behind bushes and trees and shit. And he'd sit there, sometimes he'd sit there a long damn time. Well, hell, me and Donna went over, I've been over by myself. Me and Donna was there one day. And that somebody's come flying down the road and slid up there. Off the side of the road, just slid right up there in that drive area where you park off the side of the road. Because it had a fence around the property. But he just sat right there and I said, oh my God. I waited,
Ain't
I
no
waited,
telling
I
what
waited.
the hell that he was.
I don't know if he was real or not.
Mm.
That's what I don't know. I don't know if he was
He might have not
if it
been
was something else. I don't know. Because he'd do it every time I went there. He would do that
real. Maybe
shit.
he was trying to tell you something.
I don't know. I don't know, but that was one of the other crazy things that would go on. The other thing, I went with Pawpaw and Uncle Edward one time, and I think like
We had to hide one time.
Eddie Wayne, some of the older, but one of the older boys. But we left Aunt Jeanette's and went over there. And I don't think we done it on a Sunday. I don't believe it was a Sunday, because we probably wouldn't have done it. But it was after we got up and messed around, and it was after lunch, I believe. And because it ain't that far over here.
No, it's
It ain't
not
that far.
road.
It ain't long to get to Baymonette. It's just before you get into Baymonette over there. And we left and went over there. And he parked the truck and hid the truck off up in the woods because there was little trails everywhere. But we parked the old truck and went on walking through the woods and went on to that house. And the damnedest thing, it seemed to me like we wasn't there no time. We didn't have time to do shit. Okay, and it was getting dark. And we had to leave.
So time seemed funky.
I lost some time there.
Yeah.
I lost time there because it got dark, real quick. Because we left here, like I said, sometimes.
Have y'all
After
ever
one.
experienced, can I ask you, have you ever experienced where it seems like and everything that more's fucking went on, but there ain't enough time for it?
Sometimes it may happen like that, but that we didn't have no time. By the time we got there,
It was always like that.
and you got there, just started
You
messing
know,
around.
You get up there at 12 o'clock in the daytime.
By God, it'll be
sometimes,
getting dark in
it'll
just a
be
minute.
dark before you know it.